Let me tell you a story about a guy who had absolutely nothing. No money, no real future, and honestly, not much hope. He was stuck, completely trapped, until he stumbled on this one simple secret that totally flipped his life around in just 90 days.
This was the question, the one that just echoed in Thomas's mind every single morning. Imagine, you're walking home from your night shift, the sun's coming up, the rest of the world is just starting their day, and that's the thought that hits you. It just captures the crushing weight of it all, doesn't it?
So to really get the power of his turnaround, you have to understand the reality he was trying to claw his way out of. Thomas was 32 years old, working as a night security guard, and his whole life just felt completely backwards.
I mean, think about it. While everyone else was waking up, full of energy to chase their dreams, he was heading home, exhausted, just to sleep. They were in bright, busy offices, and he was walking circles in a dark, empty warehouse. The world was moving forward, and he felt like he was stuck in reverse.
And this wasn't just some feeling, This was his actual life. A tiny little apartment, a broken fan clicking away under a single flickering bulb. His clothes were old, shoes literally had holes in them. And his paycheck? Man, it was gone almost as soon as it came in. The worst part was, after working all night, he was just too drained to even think about learning something new to get out. He was completely, utterly stuck.
But then something happened. One of those moments in life that just shatters everything. It was an event that forced him to look his life square in the face and make a decision that would change absolutely everything.
It all started with a phone call, right as he was getting off his shift. His mother had collapsed. He rushed to the hospital, and as he sat by her bed, she grabbed his hand and just whispered, "Do not waste your life." And those words, they just broke something inside him. So the very next morning, standing outside that clinic at 5 a.m., something finally snapped.
And in that quiet early morning light, he made a promise. It wasn't loud. It was just a whisper to himself. But it was a promise so powerful, it marked the end of his old life and the start of a desperate search for a new one. This was it. This was his rock bottom and his turning point.
That search, well, you know how life is. Sometimes the answer shows up when you least expect it. For Thomas, it happened on an early morning bus. He met an older gentleman, a successful businessman named Mr. Chun, who was about to give him the one secret that would change his entire world.
Mr. Chun called them the magic hours. He told Thomas, look, that time between 5 and 7 a.m., it's not about sacrifice. It's a secret window of opportunity. It's the time when you can actually build the life you want, brick by brick, while the rest of the world is still asleep, dreaming.
Now, Thomas was skeptical. 2 hours a day, what's that really going to do? But then Mr. Chun started breaking down the math. It starts small, right? 2 hours a day is 14 extra focused hours every single week. But it keeps compounding. Over a month, that turns into 60 hours. That's more than a full work week of extra time that you just created out of thin air, dedicated only to your goals.
And over a full year, it's a staggering 730 hours. Just stop and think about that. What could you learn? What could you build or create with 730 hours of pure, uninterrupted focus? That's basically a 3-month head start on everybody else, every single year. For Thomas, who felt like he was a lifetime behind, this wasn't just simple math. This was hope. This was the lifeline he'd been praying for.
But listen, this wasn't some fuzzy, feel-good advice. Oh no. Mr. Chung gave Thomas a strict, practical, and incredibly difficult system to follow for the next 90 days. He called it the gauntlet.
Okay, so this system was simple, but it was absolutely non-negotiable. The first hour, from 5 to 6 a.m., was all about building a skill, something that could directly make him more money. For Thomas, he decided to teach himself accounting from old textbooks. The second hour, that was for building himself, 30 minutes of exercise and 30 minutes of reading or planning his next move.
And holding this whole thing together were 3 unbreakable rules. Rule number 1, no negotiation. 5 a.m. means 5 a.m. Every day, no excuses. Rule 2, protect your sleep. You have to be in bed by 9 p.m. You can't cheat your own body and expect to win. And rule number 3, maybe the most important, push through the pain. Because that first week is going to be hell. But if you make it through 90 days, it's not just a habit anymore. It's who you are.
And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly how it played out. That first week was pure torture for him. But around day 21, something shifted. Waking up started to feel normal.
And then the real magic. On day 87, his supervisor at the warehouse saw an inventory spreadsheet he'd built just for practice in his magic hours. 3 days later, on day 90, he was offered a new job in the accounting department.
So after 90 days of just relentless dedication, the change wasn't just noticeable, it was life-shattering. Thomas had used those 2 hours every single morning to literally build himself an entirely new life.
Just look at this. I mean, the before and after is incredible. He went from a night security guard to a lead accountant. His salary didn't just go up, it more than doubled. He went from being exhausted and foggy all the time to being healthy, with a sharp mind. And the best part? He went from worrying about his mom to actually being able to take care of her. This wasn't a small improvement, it was a total reinvention.
A year later, this is what Thomas had to say. For him, the 5 a.m. start wasn't a temporary hack to get a better job. It had become a core part of his identity. It was the daily practice that defined his success.
Thomas's story is just powerful, undeniable proof that your life can change in ways you can't even imagine. And now, the focus shifts. It moves from his story to yours. The real question is, what are you going to do with this secret?
So here it is, the exact same gauntlet Mr. Chun gave to Thomas, laid out for you. Step 1, set your alarm for 5 a.m. And do yourself a favor, put your phone all the way across the room. Step 2, choose one skill you want to build and commit to it for that first hour. Step 3, protect your 9 p.m. bedtime. Treat it like your future depends on it because, well, it kind of does.
So just think about it for a second. Right now, if you were going to start this tomorrow morning, what's the one skill, the one project, the one thing you would pour that first magic hour into building?
Because here's the truth. The person you want to become, your future self, they're already waiting for you. They're on the other side of that alarm clock. Thomas proved it's possible. Now the only question left is, are you going to show up to meet them?